Okay, hello guys. You are here for the fourth and final video on the shortcuts to understanding your feelings. And so today we're going to be talking about integrating our bodies into the picture and learning how to connect with our bodies and trusting our bodies so that we can really get present with our feelings and not be living in the past and not be living in the future, but really understand what's going on in the here and the now. So Lib, I'm going to pass this off to you because you've got a great analogy, a way to help us understand what's going on and why our bodies are a great place to come back home to.
Sure, thanks. When we were talking about this video before, what came up for me and what I want to share with everybody is how easily we can reset ourselves and come back into the present body by checking in. Back into the present moment by checking in with our bodies. So our body knows what we're feeling. It's always giving us clues. It's always sending us signals. We have gotten really good at ignoring those signals. Years after, we've been told, oh, you're not afraid. Big girls don't cry. Don't be sad or whatever. And so we've been taught, maybe from very well-meaning people, like to ignore what our bodies are telling us. And it might have shut down like our mind and our mental awareness of what's going on, but our body it's still firing the same signal. It can't stop. So connecting to that, if you're looking for a way to have real concrete connection to your feelings, your body is the place to start, and it's foolproof. It really is. Like, that's the way we're made. It's something really cool about the way we're made. So I know that we wanted to really address two big whammy things about depression and anxiety today, because a lot of people,
Yes,
including myself, struggle with those things and struggle with how do we connect to ourselves when we're in those places of disconnection. How do we come back? So do you want to talk a little bit about the depression thing and
Yeah. So I have if you're listening, you may have heard this. If you have, let us know. We're not the masters of this, but depression, living in the past, anxiety, living in the future, right? And this is all because it's up here, right? Our thoughts are reflecting or they're looking forward. And that's where then a lot of times we go into those states. Now, I notice that when I'm feeling depressed, I don't actually feel in my body. I become disconnected from it. And Lib, you were saying the same thing when you're in anxiety, right? So those two feelings are really great. If you can be aware, I'm feeling a bit depressed, I'm feeling a bit anxious. Those are masking deeper feelings that you will feel in your body. And so those are kind of clues to say, all right, if I'm out here, I need to come back in here into my body. So I'm actually going to just stand up for a second and use my body as an example. You may not have my head on this, which is totally fine because I can't feel in my head. So, but I just want you to think for a second. So what are some other feelings? We talked about this in the second video, where depression and anxiety aren't even mentioned, right? But I might be feeling some shame. So just think for a second, go to a place where you are just like, oh my God, I can't believe I was that person, right? I just do not belong here. Who am I to even think I had it coming? Like, so just sit with that for a bit and see where you feel it. And I can tell you where I feel it is in my solar plexus. I feel it right underneath my rib cage, and it is not a good feeling. It actually makes me want to vomit. Surprise, surprise, my behaviors with food, because it's such such an uncomfortable feeling that I'm pretty sure I was dealing with that feeling through physically making myself ill. So now I want you to think about, like, now let's not stay here, right? I want you, let's do some gratitude. Tap into our senses and just think, we're doing this already, but just think, okay, how can I be grateful for myself? How can I be grateful for what I did today? That I got out of bed and I got to the meeting by 8 o'clock. I can be grateful that I made some extra time to connect with someone today. I can be grateful that I'm here right now listening to this or watching this, and just see how you feel now. But I'm curious how you feel.
Oh, I immediately went from that constricted feeling of in my solar plexus. I had it in the exact same place actually. And I can't say that I felt like I needed to vomit, but I have a feeling of like, I want to run away, but I can't run away from me. So it's impossible, which means that I want to control. So that comes out in control for me. And a lot of times that had to do with my food issues too. But with the gratitude, then I start to feel in my chest, like I'm taking a really good deep breath. It feels very expansive, and it feels light, and I feel glad. Like I feel connected to my own gladness. I felt the shift and the reorienting back to myself.
Yeah.
So I didn't need to go outside of me.
Yeah. I could actually stay here and be here with it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What I'm learning to do is if I can, first, if I'm feeling that I'm not connected to my body, is to connect back into my body, and just really simply, like, just pause, like, be still, right? Because a lot of times if I'm moving, I'm not actually feeling, right? I'm moving through my feelings, but not intentionally. But then if I can pause and see where I'm feeling and check in where my body, am I feeling it? What I notice that my default is normally to try to resist the feeling. And so if it's uncomfortable, I'm trying to just push it away, right? Like I'm trying to not to let it grow. And what I've learned to do is actually to let it grow a little bit, because as it grows, like just letting that feeling build a little bit, it gives me, like, because I'm not fighting it anymore, I can then work with it a little bit more.
Yeah. And
so
I think that, go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe I cry, or maybe I shake, or, like I do something emotional. There's an emotional release that happens. It's actually a good thing, as opposed to trying to fight it to keep it small.
And it keeps, I think for me, when I go ahead and engage the feeling, I always have gladness. You and I were talking about this yesterday. The result of having my feelings and knowing what they are and experiencing them, the feelings might not be great, right? Like I might be sad and hurt and lonely and angry, but when I make a choice to actually feel them and recognize them, and sometimes it helps if I tell somebody or I write it down and, just tell God, I always end up feeling glad because I'm connected to me, which is a total win.
Yeah.
So
big win.
It's a big win, and it's a totally new way to live that gives me so much more space and I have so much more gratitude for that. And so, I'm curious if other people will start to connect to that. Like feeling all of the feelings is the way to get to gladness. Actually, gladness is not some other planet that we get to if we don't have sad, hurt, lonely, anger. Gladness is the result of them.
It's like we were saying before, the way to, I think we're talking about in the context of depression, but the way to gladness is through the feelings, right? The way out of depression is through the feelings. So it's kind of like the necessary doors to be opening. We wanted to introduce one more cool thing about our bodies that can help with our feelings and our emotions. And that is so there's the physical sensation of it, but also the sense and the smells, and how there's actual science to back up how our brains can start to change and create new patterns based on different scents. So Liv, do you want to tell about the scents that we have that can help to deal with your feelings?
Yes, absolutely. So we've crafted some really great essential oil blends, and we've used essential oils to support and nurture and comfort you. A lot of times maybe it doesn't feel like we have the people in our lives to support us well, or they're not available. They might be living halfway around the world and be asleep at the time or whatever. And so a way to come back into the present moment and to be present with yourself, no matter what you're feeling and no matter what you would rather be feeling, is the sense of smell is actually, I think, it's scientifically proven to be the most powerful scents. But I might have read that and might not have any scientific backing. But anyway, so we've created these essential oil blends to offer an exit, or not an exit, but like really just a way to reconnect to yourself. So, and to support you in whatever it is you're going through. So there's one actually called Comfort, and people are actually really crazy about it because they're smelling it when they're in anxiety, and then they're realizing they're creating a new way to go about their day and to live their ordinary life with this thing called Comfort, and it's powerful to have a tool that really, that it's not a trick, like it's actually changing you on a molecular level.
Yeah.
So, so they were created to bring comfort and change. So
check them out. They're on our site.
Yeah.
There's 5 of them. We've got Comfort. We've got Awaken for when you need just a little bit of pick-me-up. Lift when you, again, need a mood boost. And Comfort, like Liberty said, and Grateful, which is an awesome one. I really am starting to use that one when anger comes up for me. And Rest to help calm before you're going to sleep. So check those out. And the other cool surprise we have for you, if you found these videos helpful, we're actually going to take it one step further for you and do a free webinar next Wednesday. It's going to be live at 3 p.m. UK time, which is 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. And so you can, if you join us live, there'll be great. There'll be a Q&A. If you want to dive into if you have specific questions about your feelings that you want us to answer, then leave a comment or get in touch with us and we'll make sure we answer them on the webinar. But we're going to go into more detailed way of how to get off that merry-go-round when your feelings are controlling you as opposed to you not so much controlling your feelings, but being in relationship with your feelings. So, So join us next week. Sign up for that. There'll be a link below on how you can sign up for that and get access. And it's free. Bring a friend. And lots of love to you. We'd love to hear what the most valuable thing is you learned today. So leave a message below and get in touch. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Bye.